All aboard! Welcome to Wendy's Trains. My name is Wendy, and I will be your conductor as we make our way to the tropical paradise of Florida. Are you settled in? Good. Let's get it. Let's go. Well, we're watching the 98 Silver Meteor. Downtown Sebring, departing the Sebring train station. Standing on a little hill that gives me a great view of the train departing. Crossing arms, lights. Whole 9 yards. A great view. Hey, get out of my yard. The 98 Silver Meteor making its way into Sebring Amtrak station. Creeping along. This is the historical Amtrak train station in Sebring, Florida. Station was built in 1906. So if my math is right, that's 119 years old. Been a long time. It is a single track. There is a siding next to it. Obviously, you can see it's not used too often. But it's a sad, sad world that we live in when a historical train station such as this has to be closed down by the local police because of squatters, thuggies, is bad people that wanted to go inside, sleep overnight, make it a bed and breakfast, trash the place. So they shut it down until further notice. And I contacted the Sebring police a while back, and they told me they have no plans on reopening it. As you can see inside, it looks ancient, but it's beautiful. It's got high ceilings, wood benches, fireplace. Pretty sweet place. You just can't use it for what it's made for. The 41 Floridian was supposed to be first, but it ended up being second. The 97 Silver Meteor somewhere along the line passed it up. And it just departed Sebring, came around the corner, and this is where it builds up most of its speed as it heads its way down through Indiantown, Okeechobee, on its way to West Palm, which is the next stop. Should be going about 60, 65, maybe even 70 as it crosses my location. Isn't this just an epic Florida video right now? Oak tree, Spanish moss, Amtrak, back to back. Oh, beautiful sky. Oh, beautiful. Florida at its best. The 98 Silver Meteor, blazing its way through the beautiful countryside of Florida. Its origin was Miami, the last stop was West Palm, the next stop is Sebring, and then on to New York City to Big Apple. Going about 70 miles an hour past my location as it is breaking down for Sebring Station. Floridian, blazing past my location, doing 70 miles an hour. The pride of Florida, 40 Floridian, headed to Chicago. Last stop is Okeechobee. Next stop is Sebring, then Winter Haven. The 40 Floridian, departing Sebring, stayed here for about 5 minutes, shuffle people off, shuffle people on, now it's on its way to Winter Haven. And then all the way up the East Coast, takes a left turn in Washington, D.C., and heads to the windy city of Chicago. What a long trip for this train. Every 12 hours they do stop for a crew change. Alright, go. The 40 Floridian, making pretty good time today. Just left Okeechobee, next stop is Sebring, and on its way to Chicago, Illinois. '97 Silver Meteor finally making its way into Sebring. When it hit Warrenhaven, it was 1 minute late. When it hit Sebring, it was 35 minutes late. There's not a whole lot between Sebring and Warrenhaven, but Orange Grove, so I'm kind of curious as to what the problem was, but we'll never know, will we? Okay. And the 97 Silver Meteor departing Sebring. Next stop for the Meteor is West Palm Beach. Then it's going to fly down the east coast of Florida until it gets to Hialeah, Miami, and it's going to call it a night. '98 Silver Meteor blazing a path through the farmlands and swamps of Central Florida.
The hum of the tracks is a lullaby, isn't it? That gentle rhythmic clatter that promises movement, a journey from one place to another. For most people, it's a soothing sound. For me, it's the dinner bell. I love trains, especially the night trains. There's a certain romance to them, a transient beauty, people suspended between their pasts and their futures. All tucked away in these little metal boxers, hurtling through the darkness. And the Silver Meteor Amtrak number 97. Oh, she's my favorite. A silver ribbon stretching from the electric chaos of New York City, all the way down to the humid, sleepy heart of Miami. So many souls, so many stories, so much ... life. You might think my existence is one of shadows and gothic castles, of dramatic capes and terrified shrieks in the night. It's not quite like the movies. The world has changed, and you have to change with it. Immortality is a game of adaptation, and I'm a very, very good player. My hunting ground isn't a misty graveyard. It's the sleeper car. It's so beautifully, tragically simple. You see, on a long-haul train like the 97, people crave privacy. They book a roomette, A little self-contained world with a seat that folds into a bed, a private little window, and a door that locks. They close themselves in, wanting to be left alone, and the world obliges. The conductor has their ticket, the attendant brings them their meal. No one bothers them, no one checks on them. They could simply disappear. And who would know? Not until Miami at least. By then, I'm long gone. Tonight, my target is in room at number 5, a man, traveling alone. I know this because I've been watching, not in a creepy, peeking through the blinds way. It's more an awareness, a sensitivity to the currents of life around me. I can feel the solitary pulse of his heart, a steady, lonely beat in the symphony of the train. He boarded in Richmond, a businessman judging by the suit. Now, probably loosened, the tie slung over the back of the seat. He's tired. He's had a long week. He's looking forward to the quiet solitude of his little room. He has no idea how right he is. I move through the narrow hallway of the sleeper car, my feet making no sound on the thin carpet. The train sways a gentle rock, and I move with it, a dancer in a very, very old waltz. I don't need to pick the lock. The attendants have a master key, and a little bit of suggestion. A quiet, compelling whisper in the mind, and they are so very happy to lend it to you. They won't even remember doing it. I pause outside his door. Number 5. I can feel his presence on the other side. The warmth of him, the scent of his blood, a rich, coppery aroma that's more intoxicating to me than the most expensive perfume. It smells of iron and salt and life. It smells like home. I can hear his soft breathing, the gentle rhythm of a man drifting into sleep. The train whistle blows, a mournful cry in the Virginia night. It's the perfect soundtrack. My hand closes around the cool metal of the key. It slides into the lock with a soft, oiled click. The tumblers turn. It's a sound that's been the start of so many endings. He won't feel a thing. It'll be a gentle pinprick, a deepening of his sleep. A pleasant dream from which he simply won't wake up. Some might call me a monster, and maybe I am. But a predator must hunt, a lion in the savannah, a shark in the ocean. Me, on the 97 Silver Meteor. We all have our nature. And as the door swings silently open, revealing the man sleeping peacefully, silhouetted by the moonlit landscape rushing past his window, I can only think one thing. Dinner is served. Sound of a train clacking on tracks. Fades slightly to background. Do you ever hear about the phantom passenger on the Silver Meteor? It was 1998, a balmy Florida night, until a conductor was doing his final sweep of the sleeper cars. He gets to this one room at knocks. No answer. Knocks again, louder this time. Still nothing. The door's unlocked, so he peeks inside. But sitting on the nightstand is a half-empty glass of water, a single white rose, and a return ticket to New York, dated for the very next day. The passenger's luggage, nowhere to be found. He checks the manifest. The room was booked by a woman named Eleanor Vance. He asks the other passengers, the dining car staff. No one remembers seeing her. It's like she checked in, left a few cryptic items, and just vanished into thin air. The train was searched from engine to caboose. They checked every stop, every station. Nothing. Eleanor Vance, or whoever she was gone. To this day, no one knows if she was a ghost, a runaway, or just part of a mystery that the old Silver Meteor keeps to itself as it rattles down the Florida coast. Sound of a distant, old-fashioned train whistle, followed by the gentle chirping of crickets. Florida is famous for a lot of things. Theme parks, beaches, alligators. But what most people do unknow is that it's also home to one of the most mysterious and downright chilling ghost stories in American history. It's a story that's been whispered about for over a century. A tale of a phantom locomotive that still barrels down a track that no longer exists. This is the story of the St. Johns River ghost train. Our story starts back in the late 1880s. A brilliant engineer named Henry Flagler was building his Florida East Coast Railway, carving a path through the wild, untamed swamps and forests of the state. One of the most challenging parts of this project was constructing a massive railroad bridge over the St. Johns River, near a place called Doctor's Inlet, just south of Jacksonville. It was a treacherous job. The land was marshy, the weather was brutal, and yellow fever was a constant threat. Many workers, sadly, lost their lives during the construction. They were buried in unmarked graves right there, along the very tracks they helped to build. Finally, in 1889, the bridge was complete. It was a triumph of engineering, but on one fateful foggy night, just a few months after it opened, tragedy struck. A passenger train was making its way toward the bridge. The engineer, peering through the thick, soupy fog, couldn't see the warning signals. Another train was already on the bridge. By the time he realized his mistake, it was too late. The collision was catastrophic. A massive explosion, a horrific crash. And the train, along with everyone on board, plunged into the dark, murky waters of the St. Johns River. Due to the treacherous currents and the depth of the water, the wreckage was never fully recovered. The train, and the souls aboard it, were lost forever to the river. Now, here's where it gets really spooky. The original wooden bridge was eventually replaced with a modern one. The old tracks were torn up and abandoned, but the train never left. For over 100 years, locals and late-night drivers traveling on nearby Route 17 have reported the same terrifying phenomenon. On dark, foggy nights, they see a single bright headlight cutting through the mist, coming from the old, abandoned railway line where no tracks exist. They hear the lonely, mournful sound of a steam whistle echoing across the water. Some even claim to have seen the ghostly figures of passengers, staring out of the windows of the phantom train as it silently glides over the river, before vanishing completely into the night. They say it's the lost train, forever replaying its final, tragic journey, searching for the bridge that is no longer there. So if you ever find yourself driving along the St. Johns River on a foggy Florida night, keep an eye on the old railway path. You might just see a light in the distance and hear a whistle from the past. And if you do, you've just witnessed Florida's very own ghost train. Sound of the train whistle fades out slowly. Sound of a train clacking on tracks fades slightly to background. Do you ever hear about the phantom passenger on the Silver Meteor? It was 1998, a balmy Florida night, until a conductor was doing his final sweep of the sleeper cars. He gets to this one room at knocks, no answer. Knocks again, louder this time, still nothing. The door's unlocked, so he peeks inside. But sitting on the nightstand is a half-empty glass of water, a single white rose, and a return ticket to New York, dated for the very next day. The passenger's luggage, nowhere to be found. He checks the manifest. The room was booked by a woman named Eleanor Vance. He asks the other passengers, the dining car staff. No one remembers seeing her. It's like she checked in, left a few cryptic items, and just vanished into thin air. The train was searched from engine to caboose. They checked every stop, every station, nothing. Eleanor Vance, or whoever she was gone. To this day, no one knows if she was a ghost, a runaway, or just part of a mystery that the old Silver Meteor keeps to itself as it rattles down the Florida coast.